Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nintendo Lounge for our first ever review discussion. I'm your host Scott and joining me as always is...
Jimmy. How's it going, everyone? So, Scott, do you like Smash Brothers?
I love Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is probably one of my favourite games ever.
Okay, good. Alright, because there's rumour going around. There's a brand new game that's just like Smash Brothers. You like that? You like the sound of that one?
Oh, I like... is it like Smash Brothers?
Yeah, it's just like Smash Brothers.
Oh.
The only thing is that it's got a little bit of a twist to it.
Oh.
A little bit of a cheeky twist. This game is just like Smash Brothers, except it's kind of boring and kind of uninteresting and very, very clunky. It's called Brawlout, and it's just come out for the Nintendo Switch, and we've played it recently, Scott, and I want to know what's your thoughts on it so far.
I think the game is fun, but it's flawed.
Okay.
There are certain elements of the game I really enjoyed, and then there are other elements which I didn't enjoy as much.
Okay.
It's not as a complete and polished game such as Smash Brothers.
Right, yeah.
But it's not the worst game I've ever played.
Okay, but I mean, what game is? What is the worst game ever made? Brawlout, for me, the issue mainly comes from the fact that all it is a Smash Brothers ripoff, and that's all it is, and it's got nothing else to offer. I mean, this one in the advertising it was going for more of a competitive nature, if I'm correct. And you've mentioned before to me, actually, they had kind of like wave dashing in like the trailers and stuff like that, and they kind of heavily promoted that kind of competitive nature. But then playing it just felt clunky and surface level, and it felt artificial, and that none of the characters were designed around each other, and it was kind of like they were thrown in there to be like, here's this character, the jumpy character, here's the tough character, here's the fast character, here's the electric character, and they all kind of just steal moves from Smash Brothers as well, and it's kind of a bit like they didn't even bother to create their own original moves. And again, with them apparently focusing on competitiveness, there's issues with lag and there's issues with all this other stuff, and it just doesn't feel like a game that there would be a competitive scene about. I don't really see there being a scene about it. I mean, if there is going to be any sort of competitiveness in any sort of game like this, they may as well just play Smash Brothers. It just has no identity out of just being Smash Brothers, but not as good, and that's all it is.
So with the game, it's come out at a really good time for the Nintendo Switch.
It has, yeah.
It's at a time where Smash Brothers isn't out on the Switch yet.
Mm-hmm.
And quite a lot of people don't have a Wii U, might not have a 3DS, and they really want to play Smash or something similar to it.
Okay.
So I feel like Brawlout is that game. It's out at the right time. It may not be the perfect game.
Right.
But it's there for people who really want a Smash Brothers-like fix.
I mean, I like that it's $30. It's cheap. I mean, you can pick it up it's a good steal. It just doesn't give me anything more than what I'd want from just Smash Brothers. And I don't know. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't think it's an offensive game. I just think that the developers just kind of wasted their time. I felt like they had so much potential to again, innovate, create something interesting with the characters, and do something different. But they didn't, and it's just kind of disappointing. And I don't really like that. It's just like, it shows that this development team is getting support from people because they made a game that's exactly the same as another game, and that's all. They're getting praise for just copying, and it's not... I don't like it. I don't know.
Well, the game for the Switch has transitioned quite nicely from PC to the Switch, because it's got quite of a nice sort of basic cartoony art style to it.
It does, yeah.
Which I think works really well for the Switch.
Yeah.
And the use of, as you said earlier, they've got indie characters in the game. And that was a really good idea. And that sort of showed potential for what this game could have been. And I feel like if they had more focused on the idea of using indie characters to attract a bigger audience, and it also flesh out the characters a bit more, because you have stuff to take reference to, which is something that Smash Brothers does.
The characters that I think are the most fleshed out and feel like they were actually given time, and the moves that the characters have are kind of centered around and based around the characters from separate games. So like Hyper Light Drifter, one of the best indie games I've ever played in my life. If anyone is watching and wants to play a game, just get Hyper Light Drifter. It's so good. But I think the Drifter, all of its moves, they kind of work, and they kind of work for the Drifter's character, and they kind of took elements from that game to make them work in this game. And the same thing, there's a character, was it Juan from Guacamelee? Is that the right one? Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's the one.
I have not played the game myself, but that character feels fleshed out, even though I don't know the character, because I thought maybe I'd be biased because I've played Hyper Light Drifter, I might like the character. But I liked Juan too, because it felt like a character that had some kind of idea and it had some uniqueness to it. The only other character that I can find that had something interesting about it was Paco, which was like the cover character. Paco, I feel like, had a unique idea, and they really went with it. They really built around this kind of character of Paco, but none of the other characters have that. There's maybe one other one, and that's about it. And all the rest just kind of feel like they're kind of filling in the gaps, kind of like, well, we need this kind of character, we need this kind of character. And then all of the moves that they have, a lot of the moves that they have are just from Smash.
There were a lot of similar moves to Smash Bros. For example, there were some moves that were very similar to Fox. With Hyper Light Drifter, his down B is the same sort of reflector as Fox. One of the characters, I can't remember their name, but it was sort of like a lizard lady. She had a up tilt, which was very similar to Fox and Sonic. Then you had a character which was basically just a rip-off of Pikachu.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a electric character, and it just felt like, well, this is just Pikachu. It has the moves just like Pikachu in the game. They're very, very similar. Maybe a little bit different, but it's just like, the problem is that Nintendo themselves, with Smash Brothers, they are limited to the characters they have. They have to use Nintendo characters or games kind of associated with Nintendo in some kind of way.
Or Snake from Metal Gear.
Oh, well, yeah, but they're kind of associated. They kind of work in the same realm, and they're all Japanese companies as well. They kind of have to be restricted because they have these characters. They've got to build the moves around the characters from their games. They can't create their own original characters to go crazy and wacky and do whatever they want, which this game has. This game can make any character they wanted to. They could do anything and create really cool characters with a really cool, interesting moves and really interesting designs and ideas, but they didn't. They're just bland and boring and nothing, and the moves are all just kind of replicated from Smash Brothers, which makes no sense because these characters are original. They can be whatever the developers want them to be, but they decided, nah, we'll just make them basic. As well as the character designs themselves, like the way they look. Like, I thought the whole time, like, all of the characters look like the kind of characters you'd see as an icon for a mobile game. I think that's because the game developers made mobile apps as well. That kind of makes sense. There were characters you can unlock in the game. The only thing is that all of the characters you unlock, apart from maybe 3 of them, or maybe 2 of them, I don't know, basically they're all just reskins with some...
They're all clones.
They're all clones. They have some different moves. I had a look. Some of them had some different moves. Like, they had maybe a different up B or special or whatever they had. They had a couple of different ones, but that's all. The designs were just changed colors. They were wearing different costumes, but that's it. There's literally just recycled characters. It's just really kind of lazy with the fact that they can make any character they want, but they just made these basic characters and then recycled their own characters. It's just like, what are you doing? It's lazy, and I don't like it at all. Anyway, I guess maybe we should talk about kind of our gameplay experience a bit more with online, because we had some issues as well.
So the online for us was a bit of a mixed bag. We started off the game, and the online worked really well at first. There was no lag. It felt like 1-to-1. But then, after a while of playing, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes into it, our connection started to get really bad.
It's weird because Scott's not got the best internet, but it's it's decent, it's fine. He can play other games, we play Splatoon together, we play Mario Kart together, there's no issues there. But this game in particular had just unbearable issues.
And there were other YouTubers who were saying that the online was not very good, and so that's a bit of a worry right there. But hopefully they'll improve on it, patch on it. And speaking of patching, here's something that at launch was very questionable and very weird. However, they have announced that they will be patching this, and this is in single player mode. For some reason, there are skipping frames where you'll be playing the game, and then all of a sudden the game will just pause for a second and then get back to it. It's very distracting, and it took away from the experience. So my final summation with the game is the game can be fun. You can have a fun time with it. For example, we had a bit where we both played as the frog Peiko, and we both had a lot of fun with that because that character is just stupid fun. It's just, the character's a bit of a broken mess, but in the best way.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, can we go survive this? Alright. Hey!
I'd say, even though the game does have issues, if you're a massive Smash Brothers fan and you want that Smash Brothers fix, pick it up. Why not? It's not a huge invest. But if you want to wait for Smash Brothers, or if you're not the biggest Smash Brothers fan, I'd say don't worry about this game. And by the time Smash Brothers comes out, I feel this game is going to be quite irrelevant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's how I feel at the end of the day as well. I think this game's, like, I may not like it, but it's not offensively bad. When Smash Brothers does come out, and it'll inevitably come out, people are going to obviously ignore this game, which shows that this game has nothing else to offer outside of being the temporary Smash. The Smash for now. But the point you made with saying that people that need the Smash Brothers fix are going to pick up this game, I kind of beg to differ, because I feel like the people that need the Smash Brothers fix would probably just play it on the Wii U. I just think that Smash Brothers, especially Melee, it feels more fast and fluid and challenging and rewarding to do the game, like doing combos and doing all of the things in the game. It feels rewarding and you feel good because the controls are very responsive. This game, you don't really feel a sense of rewarding challenge or anything like that, especially in the single player. The difficulty makes no sense. It's completely artificial, because they're just like, the difficulty is add more computer characters to fight against you, and that's all it is. Smash Brothers has a great design philosophy, and this game is just kind of, it's got terrible mechanics, it feels artificial, and it's just clunky. That's all I have to say there. I feel like it's just not as good, and that's the problem I have with it.
Alrighties, thank you so much for listening to our review. Be sure to let us know what you thought about Brawlout in the comments below. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you're still kind of, I don't know if I should buy this or not, let us know. And we shall see you all in our next video. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Catch ya.